sort of quite interesting here is they still have like a buffet. So the breakfast here is actually really quite nice, but like you don't see that anywhere else at the moment. In Mexico they didn't have buffets. At home they don't have buffets because I'm guessing they don't want people congregating around food, potentially coughing or breathing on it and spreading coronavirus that way, because obviously they say like don't touch your face or try not to touch your face. So obviously if people have got coronavirus passing on to food and then you're putting it in your mouth, that's not, you know, good. So for example, in Mexico City, my breakfast, instead of a breakfast buffet, you just order and they bring it to your table. But here there's no restrictions, it's just as normal, you know, pretty much like everything else. It was time to head out for the day, and my first stop will be a significant site of Swedish history. So this building behind me here is the origin of the term Stockholm Syndrome, if you've ever heard of that. Basically in 1973, some guy went into here and tried robbing what was then a bank, but he ended up taking hostages and staying there a couple of days, and the hostages ended up sympathising with their captor. And if you sympathise with your captor or your abuser, that's called Stockholm Syndrome. So there's a little bit of information for you. It's a term that actually does originate in Stockholm, originates here, was a bank, is now a clothes studio. But yeah, just a little nice piece of little tidbit of information, nice piece of history for you. Just another thing as I carry on walking past the building, there's a film that came out a couple of years ago called Stockholm, which is all about that incident. So really interesting film, kind of got a little sort of dark comedy twist to it. Definitely recommend watching it, and then you can find out even more about what I've just told you. Autumn was out in full force on the streets of the capital, and it was nice to see the stunning shades of colour as I headed to the museums. So I'm here on what's essentially like a little museum island really, and I'm heading to ABBA The Museum. I'm not a massive ABBA fan, but you know, it's a massive part of the pop culture here, so got to give it a go. I was going to go to the Vasa Museum as well, which is a museum which houses a ship that sunk here, I don't know, about 300 years ago, and that today, only today, has shut on the website. It says in line with local and government regulations, they're closing it sort of to quell the spread of coronavirus, which is mad because like everything else is open. Just this Vasa Museum, which I wanted to go and see, just doesn't seem to be. Everyone else is walking around, no masks on and stuff, so I can't really get my head around that one. And literally October the 30th, Friday, is literally today just closed, so maybe I'll find out more later, but that's literally all it says on the website, so I won't be able to go there this trip, which is a bit sad, but like I always say with stuff like that, it's a reason to come back. So straight on to the ABBA Museum now, and hopefully be a bit more successful there. So just the student ticket trick, again here in the ABBA Museum, you're not allowed to get a student ticket at the desk, you have to order it online, which is exactly what I did. So nice and easy, go and scan it through, and we'll head in now. Like I say, not a massive fan of ABBA. My mum was, my dad is, so they'll probably get more value out of this when I show them the photos than I will, but I'm actually really interested to find out a little bit more about the band and yeah, see what's in here, because it's one of the biggest attractions in the city, so why not? I don't actually know how much I'll be able to film in here, because obviously there's music that's going to be going on throughout the whole thing, so I might not be able to do much vlogging, but I'll give you a little mini tour, I suppose. To avoid any further copyright strikes, I'll just show you a little bit of what the museum looked like inside. Although I'm no huge ABBA fan, it was really interesting to learn about the story of the band and its members, and when I learn about stuff like that, it tends to give me a deeper appreciation for the people, similar to how I felt about Queen after watching the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Anyone who does like ABBA will love this museum though, as there are plenty of interactive exhibits and so much to see and appreciate there. That was really good, to be fair. I recommend coming if you're ever in Stockholm. Just a bit of fun, nice to hear some music. And yeah, that was an afternoon well spent. There's different ways you can get around Stockholm. So you can get the metro, they got like a tram, buses and ferries to take you between the islands. I'm just about to get on this tram but going in the opposite direction and head back towards the centre. Just want to try it. I don't need to get it, I could walk. It's a very walkable city, but it's just easier now to get the tram. I kind of want to try out the public transport here, so why not?
I took the tram, then headed to the metro as I needed to reach the north of the city centre. This is where I will film a supermarket tour video, which is now live and you can go and check out on my channel, as well as head to a restaurant for some beer and food. It would also be an early night for me, as in the morning I'd be flying back.
So it's time to leave Stockholm now, unfortunately. I'm not looking forward to going home. I've got to go to the bus to take me to the airport, and I've got 2 flights, one to Munich from Stockholm and then to Munich to Manchester. Unfortunately, or weirdly, there's a 45-minute gap in between both flights. I've never had a layover so short, so I'm interested to see if I actually catch my flight home. And then yeah, we'll hopefully everything will be safely and I'll be back in the UK in about, I don't know, 6-7 hours time.
To get to Stockholm's Arlanda airport, I took the Flygbus Arna again, and although it ran a little late, I still made it to the airport on time. It wouldn't be a direct flight, and so my first stop was Munich.
Layover wasn't too bad, doable in 45 minutes. About to get on the second flight now, and yeah, next stop UK.
I got to try a new airline, Air Dolomiti, for the final leg, and we were soon back amongst the rain and wind in a gloomy Manchester.
So here we are, that's it, the end of another great trip. I can't fault it at all. I've had such a good time. It's just while the travel blues are proper crushing this time. Same as when we went to Prague a couple of months ago. I know we had slightly longer quarantine coming back from them, but it's just not a good feeling. I've literally stepped off the plane. It's blowing an absolute gale here. It's been chucking it down. And I've got quarantine and then potentially a month-long lockdown to look forward to. So, yeah, it's not, the UK is not the place to be at the moment. But, I mean, at least I got a trip in before another lockdown comes in. I'm guessing it'll be my last trip of the year, but who knows? I've got all the days in between Christmas and New Year off, so there is scope to get another trip in. Whether that'll happen, I literally don't know. You can't really plan too far ahead with travel now. It's just, yeah, it's one of those very, very last minute deals. But yeah, great trip, had an amazing time. And there's not really much more to say other than I'll see you on the other side of quarantine. Thank you very much if you've watched my Mexico and Sweden videos. I really appreciate the support. It'd be great if I could get any thumbs up, any likes and comments to let me know what you think. Any subscribes is always a massive, massive help. Like I say, yeah, thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.